Okay, here's Riedel's run from Saturday. Ah, you almost had that too. It was all very nice. Very nice there. Yeah. Whoops. And she's like, "What are you doing?" Good girl. Okay. Okay, so it wasn't too bad, actually. I know you probably disagree, but you almost had this third jump. See? Oh man, well you can really tell when we do the slow motion. I'm going to tell you what happened and then I'll play it back in slow motion so you can see it. But when you're about here, you make a obvious decel. So you're running and then you just all of a sudden you sort of shift your weight back and you do this decel, and she just instantaneously responds to that. So watch. See that? It's like instant. It's amazing how she can cue, how quick she is to cue off of that. So you just needed to run all the way to this jump like you were going to touch it. And maybe that's something for you to sort of think about when you've got this situation. There's a jump right here. We can't really see it. But so this is sort of like a pinwheel situation. So, you know, and I think you did a rear cross over here, so you really didn't need to be in a hurry through this part here, because you weren't trying to do, it didn't look like you were trying to do a front cross or anything later. So if you have rear crosses planned, which is totally fine, but you need to not be afraid to go into these pockets, especially with the way how she is. So watch it again. Right there. And she just responds, so it's like immediate. And then because she's sassy, she has to tell you about it instead of just taking the jump. I do think she'll grow out of that a little bit. I do think with a little bit more experience, I think she'll figure out just to go ahead and take that jump instead of just stopping and sassing you. This part was really nice, Kathy. Really nice. You already have your rear cross completed. She didn't even look at this wing to jump. That was really, really nice. And this was nice to the tunnel. She kind of looks at you there with a question mark, but, and my guess is she looked at you with a question because there's this jump right here that's hard to see. But because you're sort of running at this jump and then you do a rear cross in the flat for her to go into the tunnel. So I think that's why she kind of looked at you and was questioning what she was supposed to do, because you see that? Now what you did was perfect. I'm not being critical of it, but you decelerated, and as soon as you decelerated, she turned and looked at you. So watch that. Yeah. And the weaves, I mean, maybe you know this, maybe you don't, but I had to tell another student the same thing, that the weaves just take a lot of training. And, you know, dogs see jumps more than they see any other obstacle. Jumps and tunnels. But weaves are one of the more complicated obstacles, sort of like a contact. And so it just takes a lot of drilling. And I was glad to see at the trial you didn't really, you know, go on and on trying to get her to do the weaves. You just kind of moved along. And then you, I mean, here you clearly sort of forgot you were supposed to go forward, so. Which, of course, now she's like really giving you a talking to right now about all of that business, so. I mean, that was clearly sort of your fault. But once you get her moving again, she does fantastic. She just spun there because you were so far behind. So, yeah, I mean, that's totally a normal thing. You were pretty far behind, so she just spun and looked at you. Okay, it wasn't too bad, though.